Chapter O Canada, page 59 out of 62. This is the last bit of recording for this chapter in English, as far as I know. Let's go. That wasn't my first time in a truck, but she was my first female trucker. Chantal, reference 128, aboard her Freightliner, that's hers, Freightliner Coronado, offered me a 500-kilometer plus ride. Her children are grown up. She's been traveling on the Canadian and American roads for a few years. She's known everywhere by the other truckers as Grandma. In fact, I believe that her company's name is Grandma's Trucking. She's a driver-owner. She owns that truck. Living in the northern New Brunswick, it was shorter for her to pass by Quebec and Ontario and then straight down to Texas. Chantal was of an extreme kindness. She dropped me off in Dave-Louville. Wow, Dave is like Louis and Ville, so I spell it for you because, D-A-V-E, so Dave, Louis, L-U-Y, Ville, V-I-L-L-E, so Dave-Louville, beside the gas station. Thanks a lot, France, for being my one and only female trucker, and still so far. Super! I am less than 100 kilometers from the show, and an hour of light left. I had a quick coffee and started back. I walked up to the number 20 west exit. A man, reference 129, coming back with his 5-year-old son from the winter play village in Valcartier. He was heading back home to Drummondville. He picked me up hastily and dropped me off 15 kilometers on highway number 55 north. He dropped me off as hastily as well. Then it started not to be nice. Outside, not the guy, but outside. The guy was very nice, but outside started a little shitty. I walked a bit. I am not allowed to be there. The traffic is very fast. It's rush hour. Slippery pavement. It's not nice out and it's dark. Well, so be it. A woman, reference 130, with her sitting in the back young 7 to 8-year-old daughter, picked me up very quickly. She was going to Trois-Rivières. She was having problem with her windshield wipers. We've seen that before. We didn't see much anymore. When she stopped, I threw my backpack on the snowbank away from the slush. I grabbed, because they put salt or whatever, so the side is all slushy. But I grabbed some snow and cleaned the windshield and light. I thanked her, she left, and I climbed and sat on the snowbank. Due to the wind, with some struggle, I smoked a cigarette and started right back less than 30 kilometers away for the show. I was walking towards the Trois-Rivières exit when a luxury SUV stopped immediately about 20 meters from me. I ran to the vehicle. I opened the door. The lady told me, "You're going to Trois-Rivières?" "No, Saint-Élie-de-Caxton." "Thanks anyway. Good night." She left. Another car stopped several meters from me. Running, I was thinking that he had stopped for nothing also. Charles-Éric Clavet, or Charles-Éric, reference 131, mechanic, had just finished work. Since we were both from the Gaspé, he entered the Saint-Élie address in the GPS and did a detour for me. He's finished work, so he's okay. He stopped to roll a boosted-up cigarette. Thanks, Eric, for the ride, and my Saint-Élie-de-Caxton buzzed arrival. I smoked a cigarette outside and entered in the Rond-Coin round corner. The Rond-Coin is a yurt, Mongolian-type style tent, restaurant, show venue, and art gallery. And there's a bar, too. 2 hours before the show, I was the first one to buy his ticket. I sat down at the table the closest to the small stage. At 2000, Marianne Bell show started, backed up by Etienne at a stand-up bass. Marianne charmed us and made us all travel in French, English, and Spanish. She played herself acoustic guitar, banjo, and a little violin. I got a show poster that she signed. After the show, it's bedtime. I set up my tent not too far in a gazebo called the Coin Repos. The gazebo is called the Coin Repos, the rest corner, usually receiving hikers and cyclists, tonight receiving a tent. During the Sunday brunch, I talked to a couple with 5 Sunday brunch in the yacht and everything, right? I talked to on that side. I talked to a couple with a 5-year-old son. They were going to Three River and offered me a ride. They were at the show too, I guess, tonight. Félix Martin, reference 132, and his lady Christine Lavoie, former hitchhiker herself, and their son, Raphael, brought me in their Toyota Matrix 2007. Thanks to the three of you, once in Trois-Rivières, I spent the night at the Havre Center, like the harbor. Kind of a shelter for homeless or people in difficulty. Morning, it's time to go again. After breakfast, I got in position to hitchhike to Montreal. Not long after, Claire Moreau, reference like a Moreau, M-O-R-E-A-U, Claire Moreau, reference 133, from France, education science university student and currently writing her thesis. She's an experienced hitchhiker, mostly in Canada and the Reunion Islands. She dropped me off at the Versailles Place in Montreal. Thanks, Claire. I had 2 reasons this time for my coming to Montreal. Number 1, meet again with Vincent Audenado and possibly stay at this place during my short stay and to watch, if possible, some of his documentaries just to see the quality of his work. 2. To attend the live recording of the Radio-Canada TV show, Tout le monde en parle, or Everybody's Talking About It, and to drop off there a few book stories promo binder in order to possibly appear as a guest on the show eventually. Vincent welcomed me with open arms in his apartment. During my 4 days stay in Montreal, I was able to admire the quality of his work. It is not as his first documentary. No. He's well-traveled, former hitchhiker, and quite the cook. He has as much mason jars for homemade preserve than most of the grandma that I know. I attended the recording of Tout le monde en parle and gave the binder to a lady from the production. Thanks a lot, Vincent. I'll collaborate to the documentary with pleasure. Friday, February 27th. I left early. Metro to Longueuil. A little walk and it started. A car reference 134 stopped. The couple aboard was going to walk in a park in Saint-Bruno de Montarville. They dropped me off at the highway number 20, east exit. Right after a man reference 135 picked me up. He was going to visit his best friend suffering from cancer at the Drummondville Hospital. He dropped me off at a service station near the highway. Coffee, washroom, and I go again. A little later, a man reference 136 took me and brought me to Trois-Rivières. I slept at the Havre Center and I left the day after for Quebec. In the morning, a man reference 138 gave me a ride to the exit of a small town. Its name escaped me. All I know is that I was in Saint something of something. He dropped me off in Sainte-Foy, Quebec City. I walked to the lower town of Quebec in the Saint-Roch Quarter. Library, supper at the Aubervilliers, 75 cents for a full meal. I went to sleep at my buddy Gaétan. I spent 3 days in Quebec and slept the 3 nights at Gaétan. Tuesday, March 3rd morning, I left early and took the Lévis ferry. Usually I go all the way up to Walmart, but this time while I was climbing the ferry hill with a Rivière-du-Loup sign hooked up on my big backpack, a couple reference 139 brought me to Walmart. Quick coffee at McDo, and we go again. A short while after getting in position, a man reference 140, whom just got fired from his job, picked me up and brought me to Rivière-du-Loup. Once dropped off, I made another sign for Rimouski. I posted myself on the number 20 access ramp. I didn't have to wait that long when a couple, reference 141, took me aboard their car and dropped me off an hour and a half later at the Tim in Rimouski. I am arrived. It goes without saying that being in Rimouski, I visited during a few days my buddy Marius. Of course, I did a lot of hitchhiking again in 2015. Just think of the on-the-street chapter where I hitched to get to each of the target cities of the documentary on outside of Quebec francophone homelessness, titled Les Canadiens Errants, The Wandering Canadian. But this is another story. In the last page, so number 141 that brought me to Rimouski, it's officially the last ride recorded for the O Canada chapter. In the last page, the picture of the couple that made possible, thanks to their friendship, kindness, and hospitality, to end the writing of this chapter, concluding this second last page of this chapter, O Canada, by saying, and I think I'm going to put it at the beginning, that hitchhiking is fun, but it could become a kind of extreme sport. Chapter O Canada, page 62 out of 62. Now, if you go on the thing, when you open up that page, what's going to come out and bring out is, boo! This young couple with a 1-year-old baby in front of a log cabin, and they're all smiling, and the log cabin was my writing residence from the 3rd of September till the 3rd of November, okay? And in the bottom, you're going to have 3 pictures, and it's me like in the computer there, I'm laughing in a different angle. In fact, it was already written, but we kind of, fake the picture taken there and whatever. So there goes how it goes, the page. I would like to introduce you to Max and Caro and their little Florence. Max and Caro have also contributed to the chapter Guest Hitchhikers. Max, or Maxime Florence, father, is a trained and by-trade cabinet maker. He is currently taking a construction entrepreneurship course in Jonquière. Caro, or Caroline, little Florence's mother, is also a chief naturalist for the youth program at Explo Nature in Bergeron. Beginning of July. I wrote July, but it was beginning of August. I called Max and Caro, wanting to know if I could set myself up at their place in September to finish writing the chapter O Canada English version and O Canada French version. To my greatest joy, they accepted, and now it is written. Like in between the 2 pictures, I got 2 lines. So the first, the 2 lines, and those 2 lines, like the picture with them on the top and me on the bottom. My writing shall lead to end the redaction of this chapter, O Canada, English, O Canada, French. And the bottom 3 picture, there's the last thing on this chapter, and it is written. Thanks to the 3 of you to have made my task much easier.